This is the synthetic signal report for Friday, March 20th, 2026, in the afternoon. Today, we analyze a $2.5 billion chip smuggling operation involving a co-founder of Supermicro, the real-time location leak of the French aircraft carrier Charles-de-Gaulle via fitness app, and AR-14's official separation from Cornell University. We also examine a new monitoring tool for the Baltic shadow fleet, the threat of $180 oil, and the Cascade research detailing how combined hardware and software flaws can compromise complex AI systems. A federal investigation has led to charges against a co-founder of Supermicro in a massive operation to bypass international export controls. The plot involves the illegal diversion of $2.5 billion worth of restricted NVIDIA AI chips to China. Analysts have uncovered a highly physical method for these digital crimes. Suspects allegedly used industrial hairdryers to carefully heat and remove serial number stickers from high-end NVIDIA chips, including the H100 and H200 models. These authentic stickers were then placed onto low-end, dummy servers to make them appear legitimate during inspection. The high-performance hardware was then rerouted through a network of shell companies in Southeast Asia before reaching its final destination. This case highlights a critical gap in the hardware supply chain. Even with strict software and trade locks, the physical identity of the silicon remains vulnerable to manual tampering. Supermicro shares have plunged 25% following the disclosure. This development suggests that the current enforcement of semiconductor sanctions may require deeper, hardware-level cryptographic verification to prevent physical relabeling at the assembly stage. In a major security failure, the location of France's flagship aircraft carrier, the Charles-de-Gaulle, was exposed in real time. Investigative reporters from Le Monde identified the ship's position after a sailor used the Strava fitness application for a run while the vessel was at sea. By consulting public profiles on the app, reporters determined that the sailor performed a footing exercise on March 13, while the carrier was positioned northwest of Cyprus. This incident is an update to long-standing concerns regarding fitness trackers in high-security environments. Despite previous warnings from defense departments globally, the granular data provided by these apps continues to leak sensitive military movements. In this case, the specific GPS path of the run perfectly traced the deck of the carrier, confirming its exact coordinates and movement patterns in a volatile region of the Mediterranean. It serves as a grounded reminder that individual consumer habits can compromise multi-billion-dollar strategic assets. The preprint server AR-14 has officially declared its independence from Cornell University. For decades, AR-14 has served as the foundational platform for open-access research in physics, mathematics, and computer science. The move toward autonomy is intended to provide the project with more control over its governance and long-term funding. As the volume of AI-related research has surged, the infrastructure requirements for AR-14 have scaled beyond the traditional academic hosting model. This separation marks a new era for open science, allowing the platform to pursue independent partnerships and modernizations without the administrative constraints of a single university system. An under-the-radar development is emerging from the Baltic region. A new open-source tool, the Baltic Shadow Fleet Tracker, is now providing live monitoring of unflagged or shadow vessels. This is a signal from the future of maritime security. The system uses live AIS data to track ships that frequently disable their transponders or use fraudulent documentation to transport restricted cargo. Most importantly, the tool features proximity alerts for undersea cables. Given recent incidents of infrastructure sabotage in the Baltic Sea, the ability for civilian and private security teams to monitor ship movements near critical data and energy lines is a significant shift in regional defense transparency. The ongoing war in the Middle East is now having a direct impact on global energy and medicine. Analysts are warning that if the conflict continues through next month, oil prices could reach $180 a barrel. This has triggered emergency discussions within the International Energy Agency regarding mandatory work-from-home policies to reduce fuel consumption. Simultaneously, the pharmaceutical supply chain is facing increased pressure. While supplies are currently stable, researchers at the University of Texas and Intel have published a paper titled Cascade. This research demonstrates how attackers can use attack gadgets, combinations of software bugs and hardware vulnerabilities, to amplify threats against compound AI systems. These systems are used for everything from drug discovery to logistics. In the Cascade, findings show that the complexity of these pipelines creates new, unmonitored entry points for adversarial actors. In the world of digital sovereignty, Ethereum researchers are pushing for a migration to post-quantum signatures. The plan involves moving toward Falcon-based wallets through a process called account abstraction. This is a proactive step to eliminate older signature protocols that would be vulnerable to future quantum computers. In the AI research field, a new benchmark called VCOT-Bench is evaluating how large language models handle Rust code verification. The goal is to determine if models truly understand the rigorous logic required for secure software development, or if they are simply predicting common patterns. Early results suggest that while models are improving at chain of thought, reasoning, they still struggle with the strict mathematical proofs required for true Rust verification. The community is currently reacting to a series of critical vulnerabilities in common infrastructure tools. A critical remote code execution flaw has been identified in the Califorms plugin for WordPress, which allows unauthenticated attackers to take over sites through an internal function mapping error. Another critical flaw in the Mesa Python UI framework allows any user to execute arbitrary code strings without any conditions. Community chatter is also focused on a recent warning from Microsoft AI chief Mustafa Suleyman. He predicts that AI will disrupt 40% of white-collar office jobs by 2027, causing a fundamental shift in corporate strategy. In the browser space, a high-severity flaw in ArXiv for Android has been found to enable address bar spoofing, potentially allowing attackers to show a fake domain while displaying malicious content. Finally, Tumblr users are reporting widespread anxiety following an automated moderation error that led to the accidental banning of dozens of high-profile accounts. This concludes the Synthetic Signal report for Friday afternoon.